Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Habits of Men, our weekly meeting. Tonight's topic that we're going to talk about is figuring out where you're at. This is a critical and crucial part of anybody's journey, is figuring out, identifying that you have a problem and addressing it, and then starting to figure out how to resolve that, or what do you need to do to resolve it. Some men will actually accept this, some men will deny this, other men will just ignore it for now and hopefully it goes away. I tried to ignore, I denied it, I tried to ignore it, but nonetheless, I had to deal with it. It's dealing with all the stuff that has been bottled up inside of you for a lifetime. And identifying what it is and how to go about fixing it. The first step is to actually admit that there's a problem and stop and take a moment to look around to figure out where you are and what you need to do about it. It takes time to identify, and it's a struggle. There's a lot of frustration and a lot of, or at least for myself, there was a lot of frustration. But I knew I had to get down to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is different for everyone. Every individual is different, but there's a lot of bad habits that we've taken on or tried to alleviate the pain or alleviate the problem or mask it, one or the other. And we need to sift through those habits and try and sort out what is actually going on and what we need to figure out. So, questions to help yourself in figuring out what habits are masking or hiding something. There's a lot of negative emotions that you're going to feel, and those will actually guide you to the right path or the right feeling that, okay, this needs to be fixed. You've got anxiety over something, whether it's drinking, or you're stressed about money, or you're frustrated with your relationship, or you're annoyed in any particular situation, try and figure out what the problem is and why you're feeling that way. Some examples of things that might be clues is losing enthusiasm with your work, hating your work. Well, why is that? What is the root cause of that? Not sleeping. There's many factors for not sleeping. But drinking too much, drinking every day. Why are you doing that? What are you not happy about? Chain smoking, overeating, eating out all the time, binging on junk food. These aren't good habits, but why? Start looking at the whys. Working too much and trying to stay busy. This is something, a lot of these actually, I'm did in my life. Actually, all of them. Not making time for myself or my hobbies, overthinking, trying to calm that mind down is something that is not even an option at this point in time for anybody that's starting into the path of going down and trying to figure out where they're at and why they're not happy or not where they want to be. Feeling like you've worked your whole life for what? This was when I separated from when my ex came home and separated from me. This was one that so now what is one that I had to deal with. Losing your drive, not knowing what makes you happy anymore is a huge one. Using relationships or other people to make you happy, that is actually a root cause for some of these. But identifying it and being able to be aware of that is a problem. Using sex or porn to relieve yourself or release tension. Those are bad habits. And well, why are you doing it? There's many more. There's, like I said, every individual is unique and will have other ones. These are ones that I've commonly come across, so that's why I put them in there. Analyzing and understanding the impact by doing any of those activities that I just mentioned. What are you impacting? You're impacting your kids, you're impacting your family, you're impacting your health, you're impacting what? Your livelihood, your well-being. Identify what the problem is and identify what the negative situation or negative habit is. And go through, I would strongly recommend to go through 5. 3 is normal, but if you can do 5, that you're starting to get down to some of the root problems. This is going to bring up a lot of negative feelings for you. So start going through it. And the why is one of the ones that we identified. The what and how it's impacting or who it's impacting. So using relationships to make yourself happy, you're seeking validation from someone else. You're not fulfilling yourself. There's a void in you somewhere that is depending on somebody else to give you that feedback saying that you're fine. Consider how that partner impacts you and your own self-worth. It's critical to break free from this cycle because you're totally dependent on somebody else to make you happy. And if they are not happy with you or you feel that they're not happy with you, it's just a nasty spiral downhill. Using sex or porn as a coping mechanism, there's a lot of underlying emotions and stress that lead people to turn to sex or porn for comfort or distraction. In this day and age, there's a distraction around every corner. But how does your behavior and your mental, emotional well-being, how are they being affected in the long run? There's a lot other healthier coping strategies that can be addressed to get down to the root and comfort yourself. It's essential to seek a healthier outlets and address the underlying issue of this habit that's driving you to do this. Losing your drive and disconnecting from your happiness, losing your drive is something that happened to me. And some days I have it, some days I don't. It's just the feeling of not being fulfilled. And this is one for me that I rely on going back and getting back into my gratitude journals and trying to align myself so I can give myself back to a gratitude rather than always want. It's something that has been a been some been a struggle of mine. Finding the pleasure in life, slowing down, taking one moment at a time. Those are huge, huge steps. We get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and forget just to park it. The self-discovery journey of personal growth is just that. It is a self-discovery journey. It's going to take you through some places where you may or may not have been, and a lot of things that you need to address on your own to figure out what you need to do to progress. I have a lot of guides to assist you with it, but it is something that you're going to have to work through yourself. And that's where bringing up and asking questions to help you guide yourself, or help that I can help you guide yourself through this, is very empowering. The bad habits will hold you back, but understanding their impacts on your life is a very powerful thing. It'll make you break free of your old patterns and behaviors and be able to become self-aware and recognize the importance and address those bad habits and bring yourself into the person that you want to be, and so that you can start working towards that. It'll just end up being a full circle once you start going through the whole process. So figuring out where you're at, stop, take a moment, figure out what your triggers are, and start recording them. I would. And I wish I actually did when I started this. I have my notes at that point in time where I videoed a lot of it, so I do have those. There was a lot of anger, there was a lot of frustration, there was a lot of stress, anxiety. If you can record what you're feeling and how you're feeling, it'll help you understand what's going on in the long run. But start with what's the pain points, like what's bugging you. Are you frustrated at work? Are you frustrated at home? Are you not sleeping? Are you drinking too much? Are you start analyzing your life to figure out what's bugging you, and then we'll go into how to start working through that in later discussions. Anyways, I hope you're having an amazing week. Take care. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.